fly.
Welcome to Millennials Talk That Ish. I'm Monet.
And I'm Nia.
No, this is the Christmas tree. Her name is not Nia today. So, as you can see, we are...
Trying to be in the spirit.
Yeah, that. That. We a little extra.
I don't know what y'all talk about. Anyway, so this episode, we are talking about mental health.
Ooh.
Right?
This is touchy. Because a lot of us don't express when we're going through things.
Mm-hmm.
I deal with it daily.
Yes.
I believe she does too.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a therapist, so honestly, she's my therapist. She's my therapist. And no, but seriously, she is a therapist. So hopefully y'all listen to everything she has to say within this episode because it might help y'all. Everybody go through things differently.
Yes.
I do want to start this episode off with you talking.
I first want to say, I know some may think, like, why would you guys do mental health around the holidays? It's supposed to be a jolly time. However, I think a lot of times we are very selfish around the holidays. We don't think about the people who are not joyous. There are people who have no family. There are people who have no friends. There are people who are in isolation. There are people who are grieving. So not everyone is in the jolly spirit. There are also people around you and your family and your friends who put the mask on for y'all. They're jolly around you, they're very happy, and then when they're by themselves, they are very sad and they feel alone. And sometimes we are so into ourselves that we don't even notice the people around us, especially your strongest friends. A lot of this, they will not tell you, what's going on, but it is best to check on them. Just because they're the strong one and they're there for everyone doesn't mean they don't have weak moments as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that we really wanted to address, especially around the holidays.
Yes.
For those who don't know, my mother is deceased, so I hate the holidays. I never grew up celebrating Christmas. However, it's fun, You get a cool little onesie. It's fun. But so the holidays are not my best thing. So when it comes around holidays and days like Mother's Day and stuff like that, you don't see me around. I just absolutely hate them. I'm totally depressed and I don't want to be around anyone. However, it's also a time, like some of my friends may love Christmas, so I take myself out of isolation and I be there for them. This is a jolly time for most people, and it is a time where a lot of people have friends and families together. And I'm taking these glasses off now because y'all saw me and it's hot.
You have more?
Mm-mm.
Like she said, a lot of people, especially this year specifically, a lot of people are grieving.
Ooh, 2020 has been a year, y'all.
Yes, a lot of people are grieving. My best friend besides her, she earlier this year she lost her stepfather and her aunt within a week of each other.
Yes.
In September she lost her dog.
Yes.
So this time for her, I know is going to be very hard, and that's another reason why I really wanted to do this episode.
Yes.
Because she deals with a lot,
Right.
and just hearing other people talk about mental health might help her.
Right.
I even, as y'all know, my friend passed away earlier this year. His mother, that was her only son. She's gonna be dealing with a lot come Friday. So this episode is just good for everybody, honestly. Mental. Okay, so I deal with depression and anxiety. And yes, anxiety is a mental health disorder,
Yes.
which a lot of people fail to realize. Sometimes it could be so bad that people have to take medicine for it to control their anxiety, because you have some people who are literally anxious every second of the day. And it's not a good feeling. And people don't understand anxiety, I feel.
I don't think I really understand anxiety.
Because they'll say things like, oh, just relax. Calm down. It's not that serious.
These are trigger words, you guys.
Trigger words.
You telling me to relax does not help me to relax. Actually, it makes me more agitated.
Yes. And so another thing that people don't know that can make it worse is by asking what's wrong. Because with depression and anxiety, when you're having an attack, you don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, sometimes you can be triggered by something that you've never been triggered by before, and you really don't know what's wrong. So you can see someone crying and not able to breathe, and you're like, what is wrong with you?
And that, right, those words just make it worse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry harder.
Oh, so now I'm just some kind of nutcase. What is wrong with me? Or I'm a psychopath now. Like, what is wrong with me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, try to be more supportive. And I know a lot of people say things like, oh my God, your generation is so sensitive.
No.
No, we're really trying to break these gaps, and we're trying to make it known that it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, it's okay to have breakdowns.
Yes.
It's okay to be sad. It's okay to express your emotions. Because who wants to be like a stick in the mud? You look at these people who just lack emotions, and you're like, at any point in time, you're gonna snap and you're gonna go off and kill everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even trying to be funny
No.
with it. It's serious.
It is.
You wonder why people are so cold, and the next thing you know, they snap.
Mm-hmm.
They have bottled everything up, and some people can bottle things up for 30 years, and
Mm-hmm.
you're like, why are you like this? And remember, people, things come out in different ways. So people that you know are hoarders and things like that. It could be something that was so traumatizing to them that now they hold on to every little thing,
Mm-hmm.
and you just think, oh no, they're dirty. Da-da-da. No, you don't know people's past. You don't know what they've been through. So when you guys are so quick to judge people, make sure that you are really, really taking the time out to be like, all right, maybe it's something else. Like,
Because even being a hoarder, that's a mental disorder.
like you don't
Like,
think
you-
you think people really want to be laid up in a house with junk full to the ceiling, and they're laying on top of the junk and their feces in it? You don't think that's like a mental breakdown?
No.
Hello, people don't
Yeah.
want to be like that. It
And
just
it-
kind of happens.
And it could simply be just because at one point in their life they never had something to themselves, and then when they get things, it's like I have to hold on.
Gotta hold
This is
on to
mine.
it. Some people have been poor. I mean, beyond poverty, poor. Okay, and so when they get, it's like I can't let this go, because what if I get poor again and I never have nothing and I go back to that? Like,
Yeah.
you don't know. Some of those things actually make people safe. There's rape victims who are hoarders because I'm not throwing nothing out. These things are safe. It's here for me. It's gonna protect me. It makes me feel like I'm okay.
Yeah.
So you guys, you know, we have to be more sensitive around mental illness, and this message is directly for older generations.
Yes. Yes.
Because they are the ones that really need the training with mental illness. You know, a lot of people say with the 90s babies, you know, we grew up like this, so look how y'all came out, y'all just fine. And before I really started getting into my profession, I was kind of like one of those people, like, you know what, I grew up like this and I'm fine. But it's like, when I really look at it, no, I'm not fine, because I cannot express myself thoroughly. Like, if I'm in a relationship and we're having a confrontation, I will completely shut down instead of communicating. Or I can't look people in the eye. That is a problem. I should be able to have a conversation with someone and be able to look you in the eye. Things like beatings and things like that. You know, there's different things you have to discuss with that. You beating someone may equate to them now being an adult and feeling like it's okay to be in an abusive relationship. Because, hey, that's how my parents did it. They beat me, and they beat me so much that, you know, I got scared, and the fear was instilled in me. And that's how my partner treats me, because I mess up so much. So you have to beat me for me to be correct. You know, so it's a lot of things that we are trying very hard to break down.
Yes.
Because she has a son, and if I have kids, there's certain things I just don't want to instill in them.
Yes.
You want the
Absolutely.
respect factor, but I don't want my child to be scared of me. So I want them to respect me.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't want them to be scared of me. I don't want, if I raise my hand, they're flinching.
Well, no. At certain, since I do have a child, I'm not gonna lie. With certain things, he do show a little fear, but
Right.
I don't beat on my kid. And
Right.
you can ask anybody.
Chances,
I
though.
give him, before I sit there
Chances.
and do any. Yes, I give him chance after chance. I would never, because I didn't like it when it was done to me.
I didn't.
I don't like it when it's done to other kids. It's like, yo,
And
talk to them.
right, and there's levels to, like,
Yeah, like these kids,
Just
especially
because
now,
you-
these kids are intelligent. Talk to them, explain to them, and now if they don't listen, then hey, do
but
whatever
a
is
lot
best for
growing up,
you.
it was not explained to us. It's like, do what I say, not what I do. But you as an adult, you're supposed to lead by example.
Yes.
So
And I think
you're
a lot of
beating
parents
me
don't know that.
for something, and you're not explaining to me what I did wrong or why it's wrong or what's the consequence of me doing this action that is wrong. the first thing you do is beating me. And then it's not like you're doing a little hand like, don't do that. Don't do that. You guys are beating us with leather belts and extension cords and all tree branches.
Yep. My son is 7 and he has
That's abuse.
He does not know what a belt feels like.
And that can trigger someone into mental illness. And a lot of people say like black kids are so strong because we're not shooting up schools and all this. But imagine what is going through their head. A lot of black children have PTSD.
Yes. You know, when you see posters like that be like, oh, black kids ain't doing this, it's because we scared our parents gonna whip our ass, because sadly you have parents that even went to the schools
and beat us at the school. I've been beat at the school.
I never dealt with that, I'm not gonna lie.
My mother didn't beat me, my grandmother believed in beatings.
Oh yeah, I didn't deal with that. Like I didn't get beat in school. That's a little extreme.
I feel like that is extreme.
You gonna beat me in front of everybody? Like, you really don't care.
Right. And honestly, let's really be honest, do beatings really work that well?
I say to a certain extent.
Certain children, oh, you're gonna beat me? Okay, I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah, I say to a certain extent it works.
But these are things that can trigger someone's mental
with
health.
a lot of stuff.
So just think about it. Don't be so quick to shut the idea down. Think about it. It's okay to change your perception and to really research things and see how does this affect someone.
Yep, you don't know what that child is dealing with. My child is 7 and he has anxiety. So you don't know what they're dealing with as a young kid, and you can trigger so many things. Yes. Sadly, I go into dark stages. Like, I shut down days where I don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
She might hear from me because, like I said, she is my personal therapist. But she doesn't even hear from me when it first happens. I might talk to her afterwards. And I'm like that with everybody. I recently shut down for maybe about a day or two, and one of my friends got mad at me because I didn't answer his phone call. I texted him and said, and the next day I had to, he came at me like, oh, I'm gonna cut you off if you do that again. I'm like, because he doesn't do that to me. So I'm texting him, I'm like, if you don't understand that mentally I did what was best for me in that moment, then fuck it. I don't care. And a lot of people tend to care how other people feel, and mentally you can't do that.
Right.
You have to take a moment to yourself when you need that moment, because it's only going to make it worse.
Exactly. And this is also the point, friends, family, y'all need to be more understanding. Everything is not about you. If I'm telling you that I am having a moment where I need a moment to adjust to whatever is going on in my brain, give me that moment. The fact that you even still text, I feel like was good, because my friends know, leave me the hell alone. When I'm ready to reach out to y'all, I will reach out to y'all. Right now, however, I cannot reach out to you. I need to fix myself. And in that case, that's when you need to be supportive. If you see that they are not answering your phone calls, or they are not texting you, send supportive text messages. You know, if your friend is okay with like pop-ups or whatever, hey, I'm just here to make sure that you're okay. Do you need anything, something to drink, someone to just be in the house with you, even if I'm not in the same room with you. If they're not like that, I say, hey, I love you. I'm here for you if you need me. But you guys have to stop being so selfish. It's that mindset. I don't have to text you. Even if I am not in a bad state, I do not have to text you back. I don't have to call you back. However, I will text you back, like if you're asking me a question or something. But if I am in a moment, give me that moment. Let me have my moment to get myself together. Because then, if I don't have that moment, now I'm cursing you out. Now I'm taking it out on you. So just let that person have their moment.
And don't get me wrong, when like the next day, we spoke about it, and he did apologize. He was like, I don't understand it, because he doesn't deal with it. And that's what the mistake that a lot of people make, because y'all don't understand it. Y'all are insensitive to it. Like, and so he did apologize, and it was just like, listen, and like you said, me even texting back, that was a lot, because I do hold him at a certain level of friendship. But no one else got a text back that day. No one else got a call back. It's just like, listen, I just need this. Just give me this.
Just give me this moment.
Because it's needed. When I go into those dark places, it's kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to harm myself or anything like that. I'm never at that point. is just leave me alone.
Right.
Let me be in my room and be sad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk to you because if I start talking, I'm gonna cry.
Exactly.
Like, I think my darkest that I've ever been was when my friend passed.
Right.
From the day that he died to the day of his funeral, which was a whole week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, you know what's crazy? I don't remember nothing between those 2 days. And that's how I know, like, I was in a dark place.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't remember anything that happened.
Your brain blocks it
Yeah,
out.
within that week. I just remember when I found out he passed, I'm about to start crying.
It's okay.
And when I seen him in that casket, that whole week was really, really bad for me, to the point, like, I do remember, like, my mom saying, like, Jada, you have to do something. Oh, she called me by my middle name, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jada, you have to do something. You can't just lay there. You're going to lose yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And now, looking back on it, I was losing myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was. It was bad. But that was the darkest I've ever been. Because I could remember other times. But I can't remember within that week.
Because it was so traumatizing.
It really was.
That sometimes your brain blocks out certain things that happen to you. There's a lot of, I can say I have clients where they won't remember certain traumatic events or certain moments in the traumatic event because it's so much that the brain just blocks it out as a protection method. Sometimes you just wonder, like, dang, how did I just block this out? But your brain is protecting you. It's just protecting you. Like, this, it's too much for you. You're overpowering. Remember, we use about 10% of our brains. Those who use more are considered geniuses. So you are overpowering your brain at this moment. And, you know, that is something also we tend to not really think about, how friendships are so important to us and how sometimes losing a friend, whether it is them going on or you just not communicating with them no more, can be very traumatizing to people. So this is the part when I'm going to say that make sure you're telling people that you love them. Every day, every other day, make sure you're reaching out to people.
You know what's crazy even with that? I told Brandon I loved him every single day. Because I talked to him every day, literally, and no, like, not even joking. I literally spoke to that man every single day.
If she was up at night, that's who she called.
And even when he passed, I felt like he didn't know how much I loved him. Mm-hmm. Even though I told him every day, because he passed from sickle cell. Mm-hmm. But when he was gone, it was like he don't even know.
He knows.
But that's just how it felt. It was like, and even to this day, it's like, yo, that boy really don't know how much I loved him. Like, and I don't even think I knew how real it was.
Right.
When he was alive. Like, cause he was here. But when he passed, it was like, nah, like, I loved him as if he was my real brother. Right. And I don't have any brothers. I only have sisters. But that's who he was to me. So, it's hard.
It is. It is definitely hard to lose someone you really care about. But that's why it's so important to make sure that while they're here, you're giving them their flowers. Don't wait till people are deceased to be giving them their flowers. And I know 2020 has been a year because of most of us, you can't even see your family and friends. Like,
yeah.
You're trying to social distance and you're trying, to abide by the guidelines and wear a mask, and it's really...
Even that,
really tough trying to FaceTime because it's not the same as hugging someone you love or just being in the presence of someone you love. But make sure, like, you give them their flowers while they're alive. And
just as simple as not getting a hug from somebody can make, like, your mental health go. Because recently, I went to my grandmother's house. She has an immune disease, so we stay away from her. And I was like, yo, I was so serious. I was like, you could spray me with Lysol. I just need a hug. And I understood why she wouldn't give it to me, but it was like, I need that. And I teared up. But like I said, I be around people. You see, I'm here every week with her. I go see my boyfriend. So I understood, but it was just like, damn, I need this hug from my grandmother.
Right.
So even as simple as a hug, it can turn somebody.
Because humans need that physical contact. We need to socialize. We are humans, and we need to socialize, whether we want to or not. You need to.
Yeah.
It stimulates the pleasure system in your frontal lobe. You have to socialize. Whether you're socializing is via the internet or via physical connection, because there are some people who don't really like physical touch. However, I know it's a hard year. It's a hard year, but y'all gotta remember, self-care is very important. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I am not a person that always practices what she preached, because I always tell my friends, make sure you self-care, make sure you do this, don't bottle your feelings, don't do that. And I just don't
listen to her own
listen
advice
to myself. But it's a work in progress as we go on. But we really wanted to do this episode because I feel like we're talking about it, and then we're not talking about it, and it's just like, and it's also a stigma within the Black community.
Yes.
The community of people who are people of color. If you've ever had friends outside of your culture or been to other countries, you know that mental health is a joke, okay? Like Asian communities, Hispanic communities, West Indies, Africa, you know that we are the generation that's really making it like, listen, okay, I need some space, and that's just what it is. I need, let me do this. I told you I feel depressed, and you telling me what am I depressed about? Go do them dishes. Even though we see memes like that, and we're like, that's not funny.
Yeah, it's serious.
Okay, because you're going to tell me to do them dishes, and I'm going to toss one of them shits at you. Leave, like, let me. You don't know. People, like, growing up, people say, like, what did you have to depress about? Like, parents would say, you don't got no job. First of all, do you know that your child is getting bullied in school because they're dark? Or that their hair is too nappy? Or that they're bow-legged or have acne? Or maybe because they don't got the Flyers Jordans on. Did you know that?
And parents don't understand that they're arguing in the house can make your kid depressed.
That too.
You have some parents who will favor one child and not the other.
And they notice that.
Yes, those little things matter. You might not know.
Colorist parents. Yeah, calling your child Blackie and Tall Baby and all that nappy head and all that shit. Cut that shit out.
All of that can go into that. I know recently I had to tell my son's father, don't say his hair is nappy. Don't do that. Because you don't know what that can do to a child.
Seriously.
Especially a child who is in love with themselves. Like, nappy is not a great word. Like,
and the only reason I say why we should try to stray away from it. First of all, you have coils, you have curls.
Yes.
You have to stay, because nappy is associated with a negative terminology. So no, my hair is not nappy. My hair is not nappy. My hair is coily. My hair is curly. My hair is thick. And a lot of times the person's head is, which I call nappy, is just because their hair is not moisturized.
Right.
They ain't have no conditioner and then a little water, a little aloe. That's all it, and because when my hair is curly and it's moisturized, now it's not nappy, it's curly.
Right.
But when my hair is patted down or I just took my braids out, that's when it's nappy. No.
Y'all don't know what y'all talking about, but simple word as nappy can give a child an insecurity.
It can. Because now, growing up, we used to hear the nappy-headed hoe a lot. Yo, you a nappy-headed hoe, you a nappy-headed bitch. So, saying those terms, let's just try to stray away from them. What do we really need them for? How are they helping? Like, you could say, oh, Nia, you're being a little sensitive. But at the same time, I'm not going to call my kid nappy-headed. I'm just not. Like, I'm not going to call them BDBs. I'm not going to call them none of these names that we grew up calling each other. And I know you're like, I say them again. You're being too sensitive. However, I didn't like hearing that growing up.
Exactly.
I hated it. All the girls I knew who were around me were having perms. I was like one of the few that did not have a perm, so I was the nappy-headed one, even though I had more hair than all of y'all, and all of y'all bald-headed now. But that's another sentence. That's another time for it. But still, that gave me such an insecurity. Like, damn, I want a perm. I don't want to be nappy-headed. Like,
right.
My hair, I want my hair straight like their hair. Why I gotta walk around with this fucking puff on my head and their hair straight and they not nappy.
And that's what you mentally.
Like, I want the curly hair like the mixed girls.
Yeah.
You guys are instilling these insecurities in someone
And don't
that
realize
triggers
it.
depression.
Yes, and we're not saying y'all doing it on purpose.
No.
No, that's not what it
But
is.
some of y'all are doing it on purpose.
Yes, some of y'all are, but then some of y'all are just so, and this is the older generation, some of
Yes.
y'all are just so used to hearing it, and it was said to you that you think it's okay
Right.
to say it to your child.
Because even I had a professor, she was talking about, she's from Chile, and she talks about how in her culture they have names for people which like in American culture might be deemed offensive. And that's when I had to school her on what's American culture too, because that used to piss me off when she said that in class. Like says, first of all, there's Black America, and then there's like the rest of them. Like we are our own America, so there's that. So stop generalizing America. But she was to say like there was this guy who looked like a horse, so they used to call him like horse hay or Jorge, like, and it was to turn into like horse, and he used to laugh or whatever. And I said, but did you ever think that he was laughing because he know that if he didn't accept this terminology that y'all would make fun of him for being sensitive? How did y'all know that he actually liked that name? How did you know? Like, how did you really know that he liked that name? It's people who call me certain things growing up, like when I had bad acne, and they used to make fun of, and I used to laugh just to joke it off so that the bullying would not get worse. People like it's like when men compliment women on certain things and they laugh because they're really actually nervous. It's not because they okay with it. It's because they're nervous as shit and they don't know like if you're a predator or whatever. So say, somebody help me, get me the hell out of here. It's not always I'm laughing because I agree with what you're saying or I'm okay with what you're saying. No, I just kind of want you to make fun of me and then kind of go away. Because usually that's what happens. You'll call me the name, we'll laugh about it, everybody will laugh at me, and then y'all go on to the next person, and now I'm off the chopping block. Because let's really be honest, if you admit like, fuck out of here, I don't have a horse head, I don't like being called that. He crying. Now it's extra bullying. Now y'all gonna tell the whole family how sensitive I'm being, and now when I go to this cousin house or that cousin house, so I heard you was crying because they was calling you horsehead. Bro, leave people alone.
Yeah, you don't know what somebody's insecurity could be. And it could be as simple as that. Like,
like they know they got a big ass head. Like, believe me, they know. More than likely, their mama done told them she done been in labor 38 hours because of the size of their head. Leave the people alone, okay?
It's so stupid.
For real, like they know their head big, all right? They girls with big foreheads, we know our foreheads big. I knew I had a big ass nose. I did not need y'all to completely keep telling me over and over about these things. These are just things we already. I look in the mirror every day. I know.
You know what used to bother me, and that I would have to laugh it off when people would talk about my butt.
Right.
I didn't like it.
Like, I got so much attention on her butt. Like, what the fuck? She know her butt is big.
And it was to the point in high school, it was me and another girl named Monet, and they was like, if they was talking about me, they would have to say big booty Monet.
Right, because that woman was skinny at that time.
And it was like, really? Do you have to call me that? How about Monet G? Like,
right.
Do it have to be big butt Monet? At one point, it wasn't fun hearing it all the time. Because you're sexualizing me by my butt. And it's not fun. Anything can mentally mess with somebody. And a lot of y'all need to realize that.
Serious.
Anything. It could be the size of their feet.
Right. I got a lady at work. She always talks about how insecure she was about the size of her feet. Because she had like a size 11 foot or whatever the case may be. And growing up, she was like skinny. So, you know, when you skinny, everything appears. How big your head is, how skinny your legs is, how big. So you look at the other little girls and they got these cute little, and you know women are supposed to have cute little dainty feet. So it's like, damn, like why I gotta have these feet? Like, and you know you get made fun of for having bigger feet, and you like, damn, but I didn't choose to have these big old feet. I just happen to have them. Like, and of course now she done got a little weight on her. She got thicker. She's a very beautiful woman. It goes with her body, but when you're skinny, you can see everything. You're a toothpick, so you look like a fucking lollipop with flippers on your feet.
Y'all remember that episode of The Proud Family?
La Cienega
had them big,
and that's why she's probably so mean. Because I mean, they was cutting her ass on that show. So I mean, of course she gonna bounce back with you poor. Because you poor. She got big feet and you poor. So I mean.
And for people who's dealing with anxiety now, because a lot of people are just now like,
and not knowing what the hell that feeling
not
is.
knowing what it is. It's a struggle to learn how to deal with it. Let me say that I've been dealing with anxiety since I was a little girl. I do think it's a result of me being in a car accident. I was in a car accident when I was about 3, turning 4, and since then I would have panic attacks. Like, just as, let me tell y'all, and it was so simple, and I don't even know, to this day, I don't know why I panicked, but that's what happens. I was in the 2nd grade. My aunt, she was pregnant, and she was going on a trip with me, but she went to the store. So they all like, "Oh, we about to leave." I'm like, "Wait, my aunt ain't here." I'm seeing all the parents in the hallway.
Right.
I didn't see her. Had a full-blown panic attack in my classroom, to the point they had to go outside to see if my aunt was there and bring her inside. Right. And she was like, "What are you?" And I know for a fact at that, when I was only about 8, she didn't know that I was dealing with anxiety. Right. Cause she looked at me like, "Why are you crying?"
Like, well, yeah, what's the matter? But you know.
And even then, I couldn't tell. It was like, I thought we was gonna leave you.
Right.
But I learned how to deal with it better. As far as anxiety and depression, I just recently, I think within the last 7 years, after I had my son, that's when I started dealing with depression. But as far as anxiety, child, it could be as simple as a water slide that will start my anxiety.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I don't know if y'all have been to Kalahari. I know you have. They have this really, really tall ass slide. They have 2. It's the one that drops you.
I was gonna say, you talking about the drop? Because I had an anxiety attack.
I did too.
My friend was making fun of me.
No. I did too, though. I did both of them, though. I did the drop. I was so excited. The first day I was there, I did the one where it drops you, like the floor under you, and I couldn't breathe.
Exactly.
And I knew I wasn't bugging because the guy in front of me, he was like, "You couldn't breathe on it, right?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "No." I couldn't breathe on it, had a whole panic attack, and then I wanted to try the other one. The other one was just really steep. I probably laid there for about 20 minutes because I felt my heart beating outside my chest, like, and I couldn't do it. But like I said, I learned how to handle my anxiety to where, since I laid there for 20 minutes, the next day I went back and I did it. Right. But it takes time to learn how to deal with your anxiety,
especially when you're alone.
Yes.
It's best to try to control it, learn to control it when
yes.
you are alone.
See what helps.
Yes. Deep breathing helps, and really tricking your mind helps. Like I had a anxiety attack maybe 2-3 days ago, full blown by myself, and it was just a trigger of I got stuck into a 3rd shift at work, and I didn't realize the time. It wasn't a full 3rd shift, so once the coverage got there, I left, and I didn't realize the time, so I got in the train. There's no trains running. I work all the way by South Ferry. I live all the way at the tippy top of the Bronx. How the fuck am I getting home? Because I'm not walking. So how am I getting home? And I'm not biking. This is not old Harlem days where I would walk from one end of the earth to the next. You know, and it's like I was trying to... I'm a person that don't like the trains. So I take a lot of cabs. I also don't like to be late. I get anxiety from being late as well. Yep. So I was trying to figure out another method of getting home without having to take a $60 cab home. I spend $120 a day on cabs, so I am trying to manage how I spend money with cabs. I realized it wasn't working. I just started panicking. Like it's no trains working, there's no buses working. How the fuck am I getting home? So of course, you know, they're cabs. I can go outside and I can call Uber. But I'm in my head, I'm like, you can't spend no more money. You got to do this. You can't, and everything is working me up. So now I can't breathe. I'm asthmatic, so I'm outside, and so for me, I have to crouch down. I have to put my head in my lap. I have to deep breathe, and I have to trick my brain. It is okay. You are not poor. You are not in poverty. You have money to get home. You make enough money that if, God forbid, you go over your limit, you can always put the money back. You have a savings account. You have to trick your brain out of the negative thoughts, and you have to breathe. And after I started crying, and I took my asthma pump, and I just got my ass on an Uber. girl, it's not that serious. That's what I had to tell myself. You're working yourself
like
up.
it is what it is. This is what you have to do.
Like this is it. This is cool. And once I done the cab, I was just telling myself, you're on your way home. You're almost there. You're about to be in your bed. You're gonna go to sleep, and everything is gonna be good. It's gonna be a new day. You're gonna wake up with a new attitude, and you're gonna be fine. You'll be a little tired, but it's okay.
It's tricky because that works for her,
and that might not work for you.
Yeah, and me going back works for me.
Exactly.
It might not work for you.
Exactly.
You have to figure out what helps you.
What works for you, and it's okay to research it. It's okay to look it up.
Yeah, to try things.
Look at, there's a lot of videos out there and information out there. See what works for you.
Yes, seriously, because panic attacks are not fun.
They're not.
Because you can't breathe.
You cannot breathe.
And when you are asthmatic, like the both of us, it's like I'm about to die.
And a lot of times the pump don't even be working.
Yeah, because it's a mind thing.
Yes.
It's not that you really can't breathe. You're panicking.
Your chest, you feel like your chest is closing in, and now you're gasping for air, and you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yep.
Why is my body reacting to this? But we gotta remember it's a protection thing. Your brain is going into shock, and it's like, all right, this is too much. So now it's sending signals out to your body, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. So this is how you react. It's just like when you first find out you're pregnant. Your body doesn't know that it's a baby. They think that it's a virus. They think that it's something. So then it starts attacking the fetus.
Yep.
Then it says, oh, hey, okay, it's not a virus. Okay, cool. Send nutrients to the baby. We got to remember that our brain is our most powerful tool. So when it thinks that something is going wrong with you, it goes in protection mode automatically.
To shut you down.
So automatically, you're shutting down, and then you can't overpower your brain. You just gotta let it go. Let it course through.
Yes. You know what I think this generation needs to learn? How to cut back from work, because I think that plays a big part.
She talking about me, y'all.
I'm talking about you and my...
She being shady.
I'm talking about her and another friend of mine. She knew she was in that. But another friend of mine, I feel like she suffers with depression worse than the both of us. And she's same as Nia. She's in school to be a nurse, and she works. She do doubles. She overly works herself. Where she's learning now to take a moment to herself. Like, I'm turning my phone off. Like, she's learning to do that now, and I'm actually very happy because I feel like if she didn't, it would be really, really bad. Like.
Right.
Because her doctor, I know she does see a therapist, which I'm grateful for, because she did need it. I know at one point they wanted to put her on medicine, which I guess she's doing better now.
Right.
But I feel like when it goes as far as you need medicine, you're not crazy.
Right.
No.
You just might need more help.
Yes, and that's okay. Don't think because you have to take medicine, there's something wrong with you, because that's not the case. You just need something to balance you out. But I do think with this generation, work plays a big part because we're so stuck on money, and it's like these jobs ain't gonna care if you have a mental breakdown
at all.
If you take too much time off, they're gonna fire you.
Either way, the job gonna be there. And that's so funny because I tell everybody that, and I just told you I worked the third shift. So, like...
Really works herself.
It's gonna be there. The job is gonna be there. Sorry, fuck these jobs. Like, it's just what it is. Also, it plays a part. Our parents play a huge part because they like hard work. And a lot of times, our parents work so hard and they have shit to show for it. And that's no shade to our parents.
No.
It's no shade to how hard they work. But I look at it a lot of times, I'm like, I don't want to be that. You're 30 years in and you have no other life experiences besides work and maybe family. And that's like it. Work, family. Hell, no. And a lot of them are so bottled up they can't talk about their emotions and they don't want to talk to you and they don't... Like, it's a lot that plays into it. And in our generation, we have to take the bearer of everything. Yeah. So all those previous generations, all the fucking up they did, we are accountable for it. So a lot of us, we don't have a choice but to work hard. Because what did they say? They said, go to college and get an education. Even if you don't know what you want to do, go to college, right? So it's a lot of y'all out there with liberal arts degrees that are now finding out that they're really not doing anything for you. And there's a lot of people who didn't go to trade school and things like that, when they should have went to trade school, because trades are always going to be needed, right?
Yes.
And you went to maybe school for business or something, and now you're realizing, shit, this degree is, I'm not using it, I'm not doing anything with it, even though you worked hard for it. Now you were in a shit ton of debt, and you're like, what the fuck? I was actually really good at being an electrician or a carpenter or a painter, and now what? Now you're in all this debt and all this shit for what? For these jobs that want to pay you $16.29 an hour.
You know what's crazy? I say do both. You want to know why? Because that business degree and that trade, you can start your own business.
But you don't need a degree for business.
No, true. But I guess
you can get an associate. You don't need a master's in business management. If you want to learn some tricks and some trades, get associates and network. Because networking is where it's going to put you. Networking is where it's going to put you. It's always about who you know, which is hard for me. I'm an introvert. I can't stand talking to people. So networking for me is like, well, can I email you? I don't want to talk to you face to face. But it is. Networking is. Now, for me, my degree, people who are in my field, human services, social services, yes, you need a degree. That is certain degrees. I just feel like it's a waste of money.
Yes.
Now, if you get a degree and you go away to college, I'll never tell nobody not to go away to college.
I feel like it depends on what you're trying to do.
It's the best experience I've ever had. If I had to go back and do it again, I would go away again. I would probably go to a black college this time. But, however, I would say if you're going to go away to college, do it. But do not spend that month that you're going to go away to college for on a school that's in your hometown. Please do not do that. Please
and get a degree that is going to benefit you.
Right, because I'm going to tell you something. Right. College is going to test your mental health. I'm letting you know that now. Staying up all night doing term papers and professors dropping papers at the last minute, it's going to test your mental health. And I'll say my undergrad tested my mental health way more. My mother died in the midst of my semester. I was at work when I got the call. And I'll tell you, it took everything in me not to quit school and just be like, fuck it. And I was working 3 jobs, 2 internships, and I was taking 18 to 21 credits a semester just so I could graduate early. So when I tell you, your undergrad is going to test you, you're going to have a lot of fun. But you're going to really have to learn how to manage work, school, internships, if you want to graduate early and graduate cum laude. So let me tell you, be prepared. And this is when I say, learning how to control, knowing what's your limits, knowing when you need to isolate. It's alright. You don't have to, if you're an extrovert, you don't gotta be an extrovert all the time. It's okay.
And that's me. If y'all, the people who know me personally, I'm bubbly, and y'all probably could see it on here. I'm bubbly, I'm outgoing, I'm outspoken, but I need my moments.
Sometimes you just need space. And if you got people who are invasive, use your words. I need space. I need space. I'm gonna hit you up when I'm feeling a little, I feel like talking. I'm gonna hit you up. But right now, I just need some space. It's cool. Black men.
You have to learn how to. Ooh.
Black men. I love y'all. I love y'all so very much. And this mental health, really, for y'all.
Yes.
I want you guys to know you can express yourself. And I know it's hard for black men.
It's hard, and then I don't think some women make it easy for them. No.
And our older generations don't either, whether you had a mother or a father, both male and female yelling at you, this is what it is to be a man. Men don't cry. Men don't do this.
And I hate that. I hate what you crying for? You a boy as a child. I
my son can't cry?
Don't get me wrong, at a certain age, it's why you crying over that little thing? But if it's something that is bothering them, let that boy cry. If he's hurting, let him cry.
Let him cry.
One thing I love that Amir's dad say to him, he's like, if it don't hurt, what you crying for? But that's what it is. Cause my child, he dramatic like his mama. He be crying for no reason sometimes. I'll be like, what are you crying for? But I never say boys don't cry. Why? Because that's not true. We're human.
Boys don't cry. That men are allowed to have emotions. Men don't have emotions.
Right.
As adults, I can say now that men are way more emotional than women.
Yes. The fact that us as women are able to talk about certain things and express ourselves and men can't, that's an emotional thing.
Emotional. And there's so many things that we have put out in society that men can't do. I love when I go on Instagram and I see black men gardening and things of that. I just be like, oh my God, you're so beautiful.
Right. I like a man who wants to drink a glass of wine with me.
Okay, and it's okay. I don't even care if you like the fruity drinks either, because I'm not a big. I'm not in my college days no more. I can go shots.
Let's both get us a fruity drink.
It's okay, baby. It's okay.
It really is.
It's okay if you cook. It's okay if you clean. I don't know why y'all got this in men's heads that they not supposed to cook and clean.
Exactly. And it's like,
okay,
I want my child to grow up knowing how to cook, because personally, I don't want him to have to depend on a woman for that.
Yeah, some of y'all women are trifling. Some of y'all daughters are trifling. So I don't want my son to be having to depend on no raggedy ass woman.
I want my son to be just as independent as I want my daughter to be.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna put all the pressure on my daughter to be so independent, because that's what y'all do. That's why black women are so independent.
Yep.
And then black men are so dependent.
Yep.
Like, y'all raise black women to be so independent, y'all want to put them out at 18, and this is not all black households, of course, but many of us have faced this, where the black women have to iron and cook and clean, even for the little brothers. The little brothers can make a mess or whatever, but who got to clean it up? The black one, the black sister has to clean it up.
Mothers baby their sons.
Yes.
Black mothers. Y'all baby y'all sons, and push y'all daughter to be such an independent woman.
Independent.
Which is nothing wrong with
a man want to buy a woman salad, she like, no, fuck out of here. You ain't buying me nothing. You ain't never gonna say that you bought me anything, and
And it's like, no. I want both. And me as a mom, I want both my gender kids to be independent, because I remember I was talking to some guy, and he moved to Florida and didn't know how to cook. How are you living on your own and don't know how to make a meal?
Bro.
Like, why do y'all think it's okay to eat out every day? No. When my son move out on his own, he gonna know how to fry some chicken, make baked macaroni and cheese, all that. Why? Because you gotta eat.
No, for real. Y'all sons don't even know how to do simplest things of making scrambled eggs. Like, and it makes me appalled. Like, the only thing you know how to make is cereal, and I'd be a little concerned.
Or noodles.
Yeah, like, bro. Like, I did see one person, they put like eggs in their noodles. I was like, that's real Jill shit. But it shouldn't be.
It's saying on the wrapper now.
It shouldn't be like that's all you make is like egg noodles.
And like instant things.
Yeah, like put it in the microwave, Hot Pocket. That's not healthy.
At all.
That's not healthy. And that goes back to us women too. Stop with that. That. If your man is going through a moment and he vents to you, first of all, I give great honor to that. If a man chooses me to vent to, I just like, oh my God, I must be your safe space. If you feel that comfortable to vent to me, and I appreciate it so much. Don't go back and make fun of that man. Don't do that, because when you crying and you want to vent in front of him, now when he do that shit to you, you're gonna be pissed off. Don't do that.
Or say you acting like a little bitch.
Yeah.
Anything like that. It's unnecessary. And like...
It's just downright mean.
Some women make it hard for men, and then you get mad.
And then y'all make them bitter, because by the time they get to me, okay, now I gotta treat them bad, because I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you like this? Like, you can express with me. Any man, I've never made fun of a man for being sensitive or being emotional or having a moment.
Nope.
Never. But y'all make them like that, and then they get to good women, and now it's like, oh hell no, I'm not dealing with this. I shouldn't have to deal with this.
Yep.
So please, and don't be afraid to work on yourselves. It's okay.
Yes. Therapy is okay, because a lot of the black community look at therapy to be such a bad thing. Therapy is okay.
I remember I told my grandma I was gonna become a therapist, and she said, what? I said, yes, I'm going to get a PhD and I'm going to be a doctor. She said, oh, that's not a doctor. You don't do surgery on people.
So?
I said, I will be a doctor of the mind. Do you know how the mind works? Y'all have to stop being so ignorant. You really have to stop being so ignorant.
It's so much that goes into being a therapist.
It does.
It's not, oh, let me just talk to you. No, you have to learn how people's mind works.
Yeah, literally. I have to learn how to control my emotions. So whatever you're telling me, you cannot see that I am internally reacting to it. And I don't always get the easiest of clients. There's clients I have that are rapists. I need to figure out, why are you like this? What happened to you that you feel like it's okay for you to molest a child? Do you think it's easy for me to sit there with a fucking straight face or somebody is telling me
And not judge someone.
that they get off on molesting children, that takes skill, a lot of skill.
Because you'll have somebody like me that's going to react to it, and you will see it on my face.
Some people might just jump up and choke the shit out of you.
Yeah, but to be a therapist and listen to that and not react, that's hard.
Right. Or sitting with someone who blatantly tell you, like, I hate black people, but you have a black therapist. And I have to sit there and I have to take it. And I have to listen to it. And I have to understand where they're coming from. And I have to be empathetic to their situation. Why are you with that? Because that's how you grew up. You grew up in a house with KKKs, and they already showed you negative images of black people. You only seen stereotypes of black people. So that's what you're brainwashed. You're trained into it. So now I have to figure out how can I help you step into a pathway of light to show you, like, no, you just can't be judging people by the color of their skin.
Yeah. It's so much that goes into mental health when it comes to people who deal with it and people who are learning, who practice it, because not everybody who practice it deals with it. I love that she wants to do it, and this is what she went into, because she deals with it. I tell everybody this because I have people who do come to me because they know that I deal with it, and I'll be like, listen, the best thing to do when you're in those moments, talk to someone who deal with it, because someone who does not is not going to understand you.
Right.
Like I said, they're going to say insensitive things. They're going to look at you like you bugging.
Right.
When you're in those moments, no matter what it is, whether it's depression, anxiety, any disorder, because it's not just those, bipolar disorder, anything, when you're going through whatever you're going through, if you're able to talk to someone who understands.
And if someone tells you something, don't use that against them.
Ever in those moments. Like,
don't do that. You guys trigger people. And
because now I'm going to want to kill you.
It results into their behavior. You wonder why people act a certain way with you. It's because someone may have told you something, like they may have been abused or whatever, and you go back and be like, yeah, that's why your daddy used to punch you in the face. That is not okay.
And now I'm going to want to punch you in the face.
That is not okay, and that's very abusive.
Yep. So just, guys, take the time out to learn yourselves. With whatever y'all are dealing with. Learn how to handle it. See who you can talk to around you, because you never know, the person might be the closest person to you.
Right.
And just take care of yourselves. Yeah. Take a break when y'all need it. Anything that helps you. I know shopping helps her. Not gonna lie, being with my son helps me a lot. So just learn what helps.
And research.
Yes.
If you are not a person that deals with it, you have no excuse to be ignorant to it, though. There is a vast world of knowledge out there where you can learn about different things. You can learn different things in my community. Like, we have a big debate on whether there's personality disorders and things of that nature. These are things that you can learn. You can learn about schizophrenia and how people manage it, bipolar disorder, the difference from bipolar disorder and mood disorder, autism, the different levels of spectrum in autism. Like, there's different things, that disabilities in general, that you can learn about. So there's no reason for you to be ignorant. You choose to be ignorant.
I think
definitely, if you're a parent, you should definitely
look into it.
Engaging yourself in different possibilities, because this world and the generation coming up is very hard for them. Even though we feel like, oh, they're just spoiled and entitled. The world of Instagram can make you feel very insecure about yourself.
And there's also some disorders that don't completely show until your child is 21.
Exactly.
But might show signs of it when they're younger. So I think if you're a parent, look into all disorders, anything. Just look into it, because you never know.
Just to be knowledgeable. I'm not saying be paranoid about it. Oh my God, my child is gonna have this, and this. No, but it's to keep you abreast of everything that is going on, because they were always there. I just ignored it.
So that if it happens, you're a little more prepared.
Right. Because imagine if you're not prepared. Now you're freaking out.
Yep.
What am I going to do?
And don't be into parents. Ooh, I have to say this, because it was me at one point. Do not be in denial about things that maybe their teachers see, or a adult in your family sees it, because some as far as teachers, they are a little more knowledgeable with it. They've seen it multiple times. So when you hear certain things, don't just be like, no, that's not
it.
No, take it into consideration. Listen to the things that they say about your child and look into it, because it might be right.
It might be.
So you can't be in denial, because there's a lot of parents who's in denial about their child, and then up, the child grows up, and now you're like, but what's wrong with you?
Right.
That teacher from when he or she was in kindergarten already told you.
They literally did.
And you didn't want to get him or her evaluated, or because you think that means that they're slow. No, it just means...
Some of you guys have children that are severely gifted.
Yes.
And when you have them in a classroom of kids that might be learning on a different level from them, and you wondering why your child is maybe being disruptive, maybe it's because your child is bored. They are so gifted that the work that they are doing, it's light work for them.
Yep.
And it's okay. It's okay. It's all right that your child may be overactive. It's all right. Find things for them that helps them, get out there. Baseball, basketball, football, whatever. If your child is into writing, let them do it. Stop stopping your children's creativity. A lot of you parents who have kids that are artists, I noticed y'all did that a lot with kids who wanted to draw and wanted to sing and wanted to dance. That's not real careers.
You have to be open to what makes your kid happy. If they are dealing with certain things,
as long as it's like safe and it's not hurting nobody. I'm not saying go out there and let your child wrangle bulls, but don't stagger their creativity.
Yes, because that could be helping them mentally.
It can. It really can. Like, I had an aunt. She ain't fuck with me at one point in time. She threw out every short story I ever wrote, all my poetry books, and people always wonder, well, why she don't fuck with her, bro? Because I'm trying not to curse you out, so I write it down in a journal, so you choose to read it and throw it away. If that's not spiteful, I don't know what is. Y'all do things to trigger people and then get mad at the result of it. Y'all wonder why so many millennials do not fuck with their family? These are reasons. These are reasons. They remember all the fuck shit you used to do to them. So now that we're adults, we don't want to deal with y'all.
I don't have to.
I'm in my own space. I'm in my own light. I don't got to deal with you. And first things first, one good thing about mental illness, learn how to apologize. Please. And real apologies and changed behaviors. Apologies and changed behaviors. It matters. It matters.
Because the older generation don't like to apologize.
They don't like to apologize. They don't like to apologize. They do not. And one thing I can say is, if I do become a mother, I'm going to be a mother similar to my mother. She was a great woman. She apologized. She met her apologies, even though she had her own demons she battled with.
No matter how old the child is.
No matter what.
Like I said, my son is 7, and if I do something and I'm wrong, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, baby, come here.
Right.
Because it doesn't matter. These kids still have feelings.
They still have feelings. They have feelings. Okay?
Yeah.
So please be kind, y'all. Please be gentle. Please check on those around us.
Yes.
Please don't get mad if people are not in the Christmas spirit. People are going through a lot this year. There's a lot of people out of work.
Which can bring on depression.
Right. People are not able to just go sit in the park like they used to. There's a lot of things that's going on. So please be kind.
Yes.
Just be kind to people. Seriously.
Yes. So that sums up this episode. I really hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yes.
Y'all saw both of us in a vulnerable state talking about some things. But yes, check us out next week every Thursday. Nia, say your line, girl.
So like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share it to all your friends. Tune in, y'all. We love y'all. We thank you all for your support.